pleasant day to all of you. So, for our video lesson today, we will be covering derivatives. So, before we dive into our main discussion, let us first define derivative. According to Khan Academy, the derivative of a function describes the function's instantaneous rate of change at a certain point. Another common interpretation is that the derivative gives us the slope of the line tangent to the function's graph at that point. So if I were to simplify the meaning, in simple terms, it is how fast something is changing at a specific point. Basically, it is the rate of change from a specific point. So there are two ways in how to solve for the derivative of a function. You may use basic formula or the basic rules. Examples. So now we will be teaching you the step-by-step process on how to solve these functions using the basic rules and the basic formula. Then later on we will be comparing these two processes and find out if we will reach the same answer. So we have our first given over here. You have f of x is equal to x cubed plus 3x squared minus x plus squared. So we will be using the basic formula of derivatives first. Then we will be moving on to the basic rules of derivatives. Then we will find out if we got the same answer. We will compare each processes and find out if we will reach the same answer. So the first step is to copy the function but replace each x with x plus h. So all x's present here must be replaced with x plus h. So you copy the given first. Then replace all x's with x plus h. Then for the next step, you subtract with the given, making sure it is in a parenthesis. And all of that gets divided by h. So now we subtract with the given and make sure that it is in a parenthesis. Plus 3x squared minus x plus 2. Then all of this gets divided by h. Copy. So we have here a cube of a binomial. It's now time to evaluate that. And the whole given over here, we should evaluate it for step number 3. So we have x plus h cubed first. Since this isn't a square of a binomial, we should do the FOIL method first, because as you can see here in its expanded form, you will have this. So you will first get the FOIL of these two, of the expanded form of x plus h squared, then you multiply it with x plus h. So first you have x squared plus outer you have xh, and inner you have also xh plus h times h, you will get h squared. Combine like terms, you have these two. So again, there's a coefficient here of 1, but you do not indicate that there. You don't have to put that. So 2xh plus copy h squared. Now we multiply it with x plus h. Then each term here gets multiplied by x plus h. So x squared times x, you have x cubed. And x squared times h, you have x squared h. Now we will move on to 2xh. 2xh times x, you will get 2x squared h. Plus 2xh times h, you will get 2x h squared. Plus, now we will be moving on to the last term, which is h squared. H squared times x, you will get x h squared. Then x squared times h, h squared times h, you will get h cubed. Then combine like terms, we have this and this. Then we also have this and this. So you combine them, copy x cubed. And you have a 1 here, so that will give you 3x squared h. Plus, you also have a 1 here, so that will give you 3x h squared plus h cubed. So this is your answer for the cube of a binomial. So we copy it here. So you get x cubed plus 3x squared h plus 3x h squared plus h cubed. Now we have this. We will be moving on to the next. So you have this again. So plus 3 times. So you have x plus h raised to a power of 2. So that's square of a binomial. We already have solved that earlier. As you can see here, this is what I meant. And our answer earlier was this. So we copy that. So x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Then we will be moving on to here. Since we have a negative before parentheses, we will be distributing that to both x and h. So minus negative times positive x, you get negative x. Negative times positive h, you'll get negative h. And copy plus 2. Then again, we have a negative, so we have to distribute that to this part of the equation. So you will get negative x cubed. Negative times positive 3x squared, you will get negative 3x squared. Then negative times negative x, that will give you a positive x. Then negative times positive 2, that will give you negative 2. Then all of that gets divided by h. Forgot to put a 0, sorry. So So now for the next step, we will be distributing 3 to this part of our equation since we're multiplying. So copy the rest first. So 3 times x squared, you will get 3x squared. Plus 3 times 2xh, you multiply the coefficients. You get 6, then copy xh. Plus 3 times h squared, you will get 3h squared. Then copy the rest. So you copy the rest of the equation here. Then divide by h. So we will cancel out those terms that are possible to cancel out. So we have x cubed minus x cubed. So of course that will give you a 0, so we should cancel that out. Then we have positive 3x squared h. Oh my bad, it's not. We have positive 2 and negative 2. And we have positive x and negative x. Then we have positive 3x squared and negative 3x squared. And that should be it. Now we copy the terms remaining. So we have 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h cubed plus 6xh plus 3h squared minus h. And all of that gets divided by h again. So now, since we're done evaluating, we will now move on to the last step. I mean, not yet. We will still have to divide everything here by h. So 3x squared h divided by h, that will give you a 3x squared plus 3x h squared divided by h, you will get 3xh. We're just gonna subtract the exponents. So plus, moving on here, h cubed divided by h, you will get h squared plus 6xh divided by h. You'll be left with 1. But we don't need to put that. So we have 3h squared divided by h. You'll get 3h. Then h divided by h, of course, that is 1. So we're now done evaluating. Now we will be moving on to the last step, which is to substitute any remaining h variables with 0. So since we still have, replace them with 0. So 0. We have another h here. Plus 6, copy 6x. Plus 3, then we have another h, so replace it with 0, minus 1. Then we have 3x squared, so this will be cancelled out since 0, you won't get anything there. 0 raised to the power of 2 will give you 0, since 0 times 0 is 0. So we cancel it out, plus 6x. 3 times 0 is 0, so we cancel that out, minus 1. So this will be your final answer. So this is the whole process. Now we will be moving on to the basic rules. So the basic rules is relatively shorter compared to basic formulas. So if you're in a rush or you want to be in a more convenient, or you want it to be more convenient, you could opt to choose the basic rule, since I assure you that it's way shorter and less time consuming. So copy the given over here. So we will solve for the basic rules this time. So f prime of x. So what we'll be doing is we will be using the power rule. So multiply the exponents of x to x cubed. Then subtract the exponent with minus 1 or with 1, plus the same process for this. You multiply the exponent by the given. So 3x squared, then also subtract the exponent by 1. Then for x here, if you have an x, it's automatically equal to 1. Since you'll be having x raised to the power of 1 over here, then we multiply 1 to the given, then subtract the exponent by 1. So of course that will still give you x. Then x raised to 0 is 1. That's why we got an answer of, or we replaced x with 1. So if you see any x there, that is equivalent to 1. Then you have a constant here, so according to the constant rule, any constant is equivalent to 0. So now we evaluate. You will get this one, you will get 3 times x, we will get 3x. 3 minus 1, you will get 2. Then here we have 2 times 3x, you will get 6x. Then here we get copy 1, then of course you don't have to put 0. So as you can see, it's way shorter and less time consuming than the previous process. But were we able to derive the same answer? Yes. So that means that either way you will get the same answer. And if you want it to be more convenient, you could choose the basic rules, since either way you will get the same answer. But if you want it to be more challenging and you want a more harder process, you want to improve your math skills or practice, you can use this process over here, which is the basic formula. So that's all for the number 1 example. I will be passing the next example to Princess Esmeralda, one of my group mates. Thank you.
Hello, math learners, and in this time, I will be showing you on how to solve a problem in two ways, using the basic rules of derivatives and the definition of derivatives. I'm going to write a simple problem here, and let us try to answer it using the basic rules of derivatives. So, for example, we have f of x is equals to 4x squared plus 50. So it's just going to be simple. We're going to write f of x as f prime of x, and then copy the denominator, which is 2. So 2, and close it with the parenthesis, times the variable, which is 4x, and then copy the exponent again, which is 2, and then subtract it by 1. And then this is constant. The 50 is constant, so you're going to just write it as plus 0. So combine this, you should have an answer of f prime of x equals, so 2 times 4x is going to be 8x, and that's it. That's how simple it is. Now at this point, let's move on to the definition of derivative. So I'm going to write the same problem, which is f of x equals 4x squared plus 50. F prime of x is equals to limit of h as approaches 0 so that's going to be 4 x plus h squared plus 50 divided by h. So that's our first step. Our second step tells us to subtract with the given, making sure that it is in parentheses, and all gets divided by h. So in writing it, we need, well, so that's lim h approaches to 0. That's x plus h squared plus 50. Subtract it to the given. 4x squared plus 50 divided by h. So what you need to do is just distribute the exponent to x plus h. So you copy 4. So that's going to be x squared. Hold on. I think it needs to be more smaller. So 4 copy x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, and close with a parenthesis, and then just copy 50. Okay, subtract 4x squared plus 50, and then divide it by h. We need to evaluate 4, so that's going to be lim h approaches to 0. So, or to do that, 4, we need to do the FOIL method, so that's going to be 4 times quantity of x squared, so that's going to be 4x squared plus 4 times 2x h is going to be just 8x xh plus 4h squared, and then copy 50. You copy negative 4 x negative 50 squared. Okay, and then divide by h. So at this point, you need to cancel like terms. So 4x squared is cancelled. We don't have any 8xh. We have positive 50 and negative 50. So now, you just need to copy what is left. Lim h. So h approaches to 0. You need to copy what is left. So that is going to be 8xh plus 4h squared. Okay, now you have done that. You just need to divide everything by h. 8xh divided by h, which is, you have to cancel this, and 4h squared divided by h is 4h, so cancel that. Going to write it down as 8x plus 4h. So we're going to rewrite this whole thing, but substitute or replace h with 0. So that is going to be limit as h approaches to 0, 8x plus 4, 0. There is going to be limit h approaches to 0 is 8x. This is your final answer. And we ended up with 8x. Compare it to our last, which is the same.